Parish School Board's Capital Outlay Committee of the Whole to order this May 19th, 2020. Ms. Jenkins, if you would, please call the roll.
Mr. Richards?
Present.
Mr. Keller?
Here.
Ms. Abrams?
Here.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Present.
Mr. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Bush? Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Simmons?
Here.
Ms. Dominguez?
Present.
All right, first item on the agenda is to consider approval of the low quote for the Woodland Park Magnet School's North Drainage Upgrade Project. That quote coming in from Warner Trucking Incorporated in the amount of $93,412. Mr. Crivetta.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too. Good to be back.
Yep, you can present this for us. Tell us a little bit about this project.
I'd like to ask Mr. Bankston to come up, please. And I'll just give a little brief synopsis, and Mr. Bankston has some more details about it. With this project...
Mike's not
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. I am? All right. Good? There we go. All right. In talking about this project, Mr. Elsie wanted to improve his campus. We had some drainage issues at the campus, and we have water that we need to get to Range Road. And so it's been an ongoing issue with children in the rooms that are on the north side of the campus and towards the back to get this improved drainage to go ahead and make it a safer and better conditions on a daily basis for those students. And with that, we have a consider of approval for the low quote from Warner Trucking Incorporated, which is a very reputable company. I was talking with Mr. Bankston today, in the amount of $93,412. Mr. Bankston?
Mr. Bankston, we'll have you take questions in just a minute. If we could, though, let's go ahead and get a motion on the floor to approve the administration's recommendation. Does anyone have that motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
All right, motion is made by Mrs. Dominguez.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Sandra Bailey Simmons. Mr. Bankston, and then before we go any further, we'll ask Ms. Jenkins to recognize that Mr. Bush has joined us and place that in the minutes. Mr. Bankston, did you have some additional comments on the project?
Mr. Crivetta pretty much covered everything. Just like he said, we're handling the drainage along that side where the bus drops is. We're putting like a trench grate to stop the water from getting in underneath that area. We're changing out some existing catch basins with new. We're adding extra catch basins. We're draining it all over to that side ditch. So this should help out a lot.
Do any board members have any questions on the motion?
Oh, I have one.
All right, Mr.
Have you guys prepared any diagrams in the layout for what you plan to do, or is it pretty much just replacing what's already there?
Oh, no, sir. We have drawings. We had drawings that went with it. We show where the drainage lines are going, and they're removing some concrete. We have a full set of documents, bid documents that went out to the contractors.
Okay. Can you make those available to the board, the members of the board? I haven't seen exactly what it is that you guys are planning to do.
I can get those.
All right.
Any other questions, Mr. Moore?
No.
Any other questions from any other members of the board? Ms. Jenkins, did we receive any public input on this motion?
Yes, sir.
If there's no other questions, are there any objections on the motion? Without objection, then the motion is agreed to. All right, next item on the agenda.
Thank
Yes.
you, and I have those documents. We'll get to you, copies of the actual drainage plan, okay?
All right, thank you.
Next item is to consider approval of the low bid for the Natalbany Middle School's floor replacement project. That bid came in from D&H Quality Construction in the amount of $92,950. Mr. Crivetta, you want to tell us a little bit about this project?
Yes, at Natalbany Middle School, we have an ongoing issue. The maintenance department has exhausted its resources on the repairs to the flooring of the school. It is a wooden floor underneath tile and so on. It's because that building has a good bit of age on it, and we've done a lot of upkeep in dealing with air conditions, water source air conditions, and different issues that we've had problems with water and moisture and such. And so to remedy this problem, to remedy it correctly, We are proposing to go for the low quote of $92,950 from D&H Quality Construction, and this contractor also has a very good track record with the school system, working in a timely fashion and also giving us a very good value for the dollar.
And that we're expecting that if we can get this project started, that it'll be completed before school is scheduled to resume?
And that was a conversation that we had today. We're looking at 60 days, is that correct?
We're looking at 60 days. I spoke with the contractor today and asked him if he still felt okay. He said he felt that he could do it. Obviously, we're going to monitor the construction during the process, and if we feel at any time that it's not going to happen, we'll find a place, that makes sense to go to and stop. But Jason feels like he's going to be able to do it.
This time we'll take a motion to approve the administration's recommendations. Anyone wish to make that motion at this time?
So move.
Motion is made by Mr. Toller.
Second.
Second was by Mr. Westmoreland. Does any members of the board have any additional questions for Mr. Crivetta or Mr. Bankston? All right. Is there any public input on this motion? Is there any objection to the motion? There being no objection, the motion is agreed to.
Thank you.
There's
We
no other
appreciate it.
business to come before the committee at this time. So you had a question, Ms. Cindy?
Are you done with the business?
Yes.
Yeah. Brett's not going to be here, right, Brett?
No, not tonight.
Okay, I called him and talked to him about do you have any idea about the crosswalk at LaRanger, where we are on that?
It's being reconfigured.
I did get that.
It's being reconfigured, and,
They're trying to charge more, right?
well, I just got back on Monday and then going over different things. The last information I have, it's being reconfigured, and I've got to get back in contact with them. It looks like another couple of months, and this has been an ongoing process. You know that. Let it be known that, it's on our front burner, even though it doesn't seem like it is, but it had to be reconfigured, and the project was cut back a little bit, I believe, in dealing with the walkway and such. But I will have more details coming, but the project has changed. The scope of the project has changed. The intent of the project is the same, which is to safely have students cross that highway, which is a state highway. And also, I know in doing this project, some things have to change, I believe, in front of the auditorium, because the state really does not allow vehicles to be parked on the side of the highway where they back into a state highway. So there's some changes that have to be made there, too, to the best of my knowledge, to prevent that from happening in the future.
Yeah.
So to say it actually concerns some other safety issues that we didn't recognize at the time, but to deal with state rules and regulations.
It's been so long since we approved that, and the money set aside, from what I understood.
understand. I feel what you're saying, definitely, and we will bring everything to you that we have information-wise, and when I get more information, I'll get that to Brett so he can get it out to each one of you.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
We
Mr.
appreciate
Dominguez?
your help and support.
Is there an update about the LaRanger damage?
I'm still in contact with Satellite. The building's been ordered, and the building that we're going to replace is the last floor. One floor of the building contains two halves. One floor is 2 halves of a classroom. So the replacement is going to be one classroom, but in 2 halves. And so the building's been ordered. I don't have any other information other than that, but I will work on a timeline with the company and calling Cheryl Nicolay at Satellite Shelters in Laplace to find out exactly what the time factor is on the production of the floor. Normally, you don't just buy these things. They have to be made. They're produced. Most of these companies work out of Georgia, and they're companies that we worked with before, and so they know the scope and sequence and also the specs for that building. Because when we did those buildings in, 2016, I had specific specifications for those buildings for electricity, technology, et cetera. So the building that we're going to order that we have to replace that was existing is going to meet the specifications of what we had prior. So I am working with them, and when I get a timeline for that as well, I will get that to you. And of course, our goal is to have everything settled prior to the start of the school year. And we need to replace a canopy in the back, a small one, and we need to replace a landing on the ramp that goes out the back of the school into the parking lot towards the wooded section. And there's going to be a little bit of roof work that have to be done to the part of the building that didn't get crushed by the tree. So those are all
Okay.
things. Right now, it is still in position. The tree's been cut, and it's been covered with plastic, et cetera, with the electricity turned off to that portion of the building.
Okay, thank you.
If there was a brighter side, at least the timing was good.
Yes, yeah,
You know, if you're going to find the good side of that.
definitely.
All right, there being no other business before the committee, this meeting is adjourned.
I would like to say, Mr. Cravetta, have we seen you in a long, long, long
Been
time?
a
man?
while.
Welcome back.
But it's
Good to
good,
see your
it's
face.
good, it's good to be back, and you don't realize how good it is until you get on the other side of pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't realize how bad the pain was until you get on the other side of it, and you start feeling better.
Looking good.
So,
Good.
thank you,
Good to have you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.